Yeah, we're going to deal with creating a suitable user interface that provides a menu to access the queries and report listed and the forms required for data entry, which basically means everything that you have done so far, the input form, this input form, all of the 4 queries and the reports need to show on a main menu. Okay, so this is one of the times where we're not going to use a wizard. So a menu is just a form, okay, and basically we just want to start off with a blank form. We potentially want to put a title in the form, so we're going to call that main menu, okay, so that we've got that, and then we're just going to build in to that menu the buttons that we need, okay. So essentially, that's better. We want to expand the detail bit, so we've got the header and we've got the detail. Now, this is where actually you can start to format the colours and things like that you might want at the back of your menu. So the background colours, etc, etc, but it's not really totally necessary, it just makes it look prettier. So let's think about what we have got so far. So first of all, I am going to need a button for the 2 forms that we have completed. Therefore we need a form operation. All our button we want to do is open a form. So first one was add new cleaner. Okay, we want it to open the form. That's absolutely fine. Okay, and the text we want will just be add new cleaner. Next, we'll call that add new cleaner as well. And then we finish and it will just say add new cleaner. So when we go to design view and we click on it, it should take us straight into there. And basically we just keep going with this, adding the buttons as we go. I'm going to put the other form in here. So this is another form operation, open a form, and this time it's going to be to add a new job. So add new job. Add new job is its command, and we finish that. And obviously you can make these as big or as small as you want them to be, and fiddle around with the formatting, etc, etc. Alright, when we come to add buttons for the queries, we are actually in the miscellaneous section. And we want to be able to run those queries. So when we look at the queries that we're trying to run, we want the ones that they specifically asked us to do. So query number 1 was to list them alphabetically. So we're just going to go cleaners A to Z, because that tells us what that's going to be. And we can just call the command query 1. That's absolutely fine. Okay, and we're just going to build that up little bit by little bit. So we're doing the same thing all the time. So we're adding a button. All I'm doing is placing mine so that the forms are together, the queries are together, and then the one that does the report is there as well. Okay, so miscellaneous. And then we're going to run the second query. So query number 2 was the cleaners with less than 25 stars. And that's what I'm going to call that. So cleaners with less than 25 stars. And obviously do go back and check your spelling. That's a lot easier to deal with your spelling mistakes now than later. And I'm just going to call this button Query 2. And we can do things like do this and do this to make it fatter and squatter if we want to. Okay, keep going. So next query was the cleaners different services. So miscellaneous, one query. We're looking at query number 3. And then the final query that we had was the supervisor's lowest ratings. Okay, so query number 4. Next. Supervisor's lowest ratings. And this was query number 4. Okay, and then over here we want to add a button that opens the report. So we should only have one report. So block tip report. Next. And then just call that report 1. Okay, so in there we've got all of those things. We can give them a little test. Okay, click and it should open the report. We can just close that. Okay, again you can make it as pretty as you want it to be. When you're in design view, of course, you can control on S and that will then ask you what you want to call it, and this one's going to be my main menu. Now, one of the things that is quite pertinent to your main menu is the fact that you want it to pop up when you open it. Okay, so which means we need to look at our file and our options. So there are lots of options in here. Okay, in our current database, our application option, it says display form. Okay, so we want it to display main menu from the off, and it says OK. Now it won't do that until we close it down and reopen it again, and then hopefully when we reopen it, our main menu will be the one that is pops up just automatically. So when you open it, it will look like that. Okay. Again, if you want to make it, you know, look pretty, then there are bits in terms of sort of background colors that we can change. So there's a fill back color down here, etc., etc., to make it look as pretty as you want it to. But we're going to call it a day just in there on my main menu.